Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Vonda'S Court Unfiltered. It is a blessing and an honor to be here on the radio today so that we can discuss some topics. I'm very, very excited about it. Today, I want to talk about the NFL. Now, we know recently there was a situation with Malik McDowell, and we know that he had been arrested. He was running around naked, and, he had some other run-ins with the law. The issue I want to know is, do you think that the NFL is not properly treating signs of mental illness? And then when something like this happens, they're like, oh my God. Are they using these young men, boys, just as objects to get money? And they're not catering to them about their health? And as a result, when something like this jumps off, okay, they're like, oh my God, oh, how dare that happen? It's amazing that, we for so long, before there was a discovery of CTF, which is a chronic brain syndrome as a result of getting hit in the head too much. You would hear isolated incidences about people who played professionally, and they would do some real random act like kill themselves or kill somebody else, and they weren't able to really diagnose it and figure it out. And when the doctor came up with this idea, the NFL was like, oh, we don't want nothing to do with that. We good. What you talking about? It was so bad he had to put his own money. Ultimately, the NFL said, okay, we're going to do things to, make sure that these players are properly compensated and they get proper medical treatment. But then we recently had these rashes of behavior with the nakedness running around. And, it's like, everybody want to distance themselves. Mental illness is real. And I believe that, I know at least in America, we do not give the proper treatment for it. I would say, and I don't want to really be off, but at least probably maybe almost 70% of the people that you find incarcerated are people who are suffering from some form of mental illness that had not gone treated. Many years ago, I want to say probably almost 15 years ago or close to it, we had mental health treatment here in Michigan. We no longer have that. And it's real. It's real. And we want to, no, he just, eclectic, different. And we want to somehow not deal with these issues. We know that these players making these organizations billions. And so they just keep pushing. And the thing about it is, and for those of you all who play professional or have played, sports, you love it. And when you love it, you are torn between your own health concerns and the desire to play. Because if you tell somebody, well, this was going on, you know what I'm saying? Like I keep, I can't focus on, I'm hearing voice. Well, we don't want to hear that. Can you touch that ball? That's all we concerned about. Can you touch that ball? And I'm concerned about it. They use these young men as chattel. Okay. to get what they want. You know what I'm saying? To fill the stadiums, to make people say, oh yeah, to come to the games. And these young men and men are suffering in silence until something like this jump off. Then when it jump off, everybody want to run away from it and be like, oh, you know what? We don't know what's wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, as though black men somehow have something's wrong with them. I mean, these are all black guys that are running around naked and taking their clothes off and stuff. I mean, is it something, some type of fetish or some type of, irregularity with them? And the sad thing about it is that, when do you start treatment? Okay, when it gets full blown to the CTF or to that syndrome, or do we start making assessments now so that this doesn't happen? I'd like to know what you think about it. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel so bad, for these young men, because they're being ostracized, because of what has happened. They're being, nobody is taking them seriously. And until something like this jumps off, and then when it jumps off, everybody want to run from it instead of running to it. And it's so shameful. I'm telling you, I am embarrassed that here we are with our young men, you know what I mean, who need treatment, and nobody is giving a damn about them. And then when they act out inappropriately, guess what happens? Then everybody want to run from them. Let's take a look at, we got so many check-ins. I'm so honored. I saw someone from Spain, obviously locally, Chicago, London, England, so many wonderful people. But I want to read some of these comments. Alberta and Stella. Mental illness is extremely real and very prevalent. It's from Sheila Hill Harris. It's much needed back again here in Michigan, especially for the younger generation, just saying. Deborah Harant Arnold, Harara Arnold. Mental illness is a pandemic in this country, growing faster than the virus in this country, in my opinion. And in sports, especially the NFL, they need a Spartacus, in my opinion. Lorraine Wilson, in my opinion, all modern day slavery. And these are individuals that basically are saying, hey, we need to do something. Deborah Haran Arnold says, Lorraine Wilson history, the evolution of this ancient gladiators. I saw where is Spartacus, just my opinion, slavery disguised as entertainment. We're sacrificing them. And for our enjoyment and for our entertainment, and whatever happens to them outside that field, we don't want to know and we don't care, because we want to somehow think that there's something innately wrong with these individuals. The other young man, I can't remember his name, who took his shirt off and ran off the field because he was concerned that his treatment, that some type of injury was not properly treated. And, the coach, he's cut, he's got to go. Damn, if he's suffering. As a retired judge, I did not treat people who had mental illness the same as you do as somebody who actively chooses to do a particular action. You just can't. And for people to say, oh, we're going to cut them, they just going to be free agents, that ain't our business. I'm sorry. Hey, that's not my business. Let somebody else deal with it. We don't want to deal with it, and we're going to have to, because I believe that these young men are crying out that they need some help. They need some treatment. This is a stressful job, occupation, and all of that. Well, suck it up. I don't care about that. and they're not being, you getting paid enough. You listen, let me tell you something. Your health is your wealth. It ain't no amount of money that they can print that's worth your health. No amount of money. So if you are suffering and you have an occupation, especially one that's a high intensity occupation like professional sports, you need to get these boys some help. You need to get them some help instead of somehow, castigating them and making them seem like, oh, there's some, deranged individual when they're crying out for help. And too many times we want to fall a deaf ear. Everything has to be like social media perfect. You know what I mean? I'll tell you and give you an example. A person makes a post about something, a loss of a loved one or something that has happened. People don't like that. But you stand by a Rolls Royce or you got Gucci, Fender, Prada. People love that. So what society says, as long as you appear to be winning, that's all we want. We don't care that you suffering. And we don't care that you suffering in silence because we don't want to hear all of that. We want to see you out there winning, touching that ball. We don't care what you got to go through. Guess what? You get paid enough. No one gets paid enough to sacrifice their mental health. And it is incumbent upon organizations, in my opinion, like the NFL, like the police departments, to screen for this. We'll be back. Give me a call. We want to hear some of your calls. We'll be back.